For ACUSports.com, Zach Carlyle, joined by head coach Joe Golding. I'm cold, so I'm keeping the jacket and the scarf on today. But, all right, season's less than a week away now. It's hard to believe that we're already talking basketball like this, but hey, the season's up and coming. How excited are you guys to get this thing going this year?
I think we're real excited. Obviously, anytime the weather gets like this, it gets cold. It's basketball season's coming around the corner, and so we're 6 days away here from an exciting night, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Obviously, unveiling the banner for the championship and playing the doubleheader with the women when they unveil their banner, and so it's just a great night to celebrate basketball here in the city of Abilene. And so I know our guys are ready. As a head coach, I think this time you want more practices. You're kind of making sure do we have everything in that we might see early, and we don't, but you kind of panic behind the scenes. But I know our guys, especially with the Virgin Islands trip and then playing 2 scrimmages, I know they're ready to go and get started.
Everybody keeps talking about last season and how these accomplishments and as incredible as it was, time to turn that page now, isn't it?
I wish you'd get that message out. I'm trying really hard everywhere I go to, last year's over, and so hopefully with the banner deal, that's kind of the last thing that we do. And it's an important thing to do. You obviously need to celebrate success, and we want to honor the guys that were a part of that, and they deserve that right. But we also have to turn the page, and we got to get ready for this year. This year's team is completely different than last year's team. This journey, like we always say, is going to be different than last year's journey. And so we've kind of already started the journey, and we've had a summer and fall with these guys, and we've obviously had 2 scrimmages, but there's always, like, when you feel like you're done, and it's next year pops up, or last year pops up with something to do. So continue to spread that message for me. I'd appreciate it, because I love celebrating, and I'm glad people are talking about basketball and talking about last year, but we obviously have to get focused on this year, because everything we did last year has nothing to do with what we're going to do this year.
Yeah, I mean, you lose a ton of great guys, but you got a lot of good guys coming back. Excuse me, and Peyton Ricks being one of them, and there's a lot of talent around him and some new pieces, and a lot of guys playing maybe different roles than they had last year as well, right?
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out this team. The good thing is we had 9 guys back, and a lot of those guys played last year, and then a lot of our younger guys got to play important minutes last year as we got closer to Katy and in the NCAA tournament. So that didn't leave our locker room. Those guys have been around success. They know what winning looks like now. They know what the confetti coming down looks like. They know what that feeling is, and obviously they want a piece of that again. And so I think they have a chip on their shoulder. We like guys with chips on their shoulders. I do. I like coaching guys like that. We like guys like that in our program. And I think these guys have something to prove. We lost a lot last year, but these guys have been ready for their opportunity. And I think if you're building the right kind of program and you're developing players, when their opportunity comes, they're ready to step up and play. And so I have zero interest, and I know our locker room does, of not competing for championships, and so there's no excuse when you lose players. You're going to. It happens, but you got to try to bridge that gap, and you got to continue to compete at the top of this league, and that hopefully we're building that program. We're not there yet, but we like to build that program with a consistency that we were always competing for championships.
And finally, this early preseason, all these practices that have happened. You went to the Virgin Islands earlier in the year. What have you seen from your guys out there on the practice floor so far?
Yeah, I like our leadership. Obviously, we got Hayden Howe back. A lot of people maybe forgot about Hayden Howe. He hasn't played a real game. Tuesday will be his first game in almost a year and a half. That's a long time. But he's been working really hard behind the scenes. Obviously, Trey Lennox, who played a bunch for us last year, and an important role for us, and then Ricks. So those 3 seniors are kind of leading our team. But we also have some freshmen last year that played a bunch of minutes. You look at Damien and Joe that are growing up in our program, and they're starting to show more leadership traits. And you don't have to be a senior to lead. We need our seniors to lead, but we need other guys can lead as well. So I think the DNA, Zach, I've seen early with some consistency with this team. This team is playing really hard. They bring it every day. We haven't had to really fire them up, coach speak, to get them going. They've been really consistent in practices and in our scrimmages of just playing really hard. And so that has to be the DNA of this team, I think, as we carry forward. I don't think we can just get off the bus and just not play hard and go beat people. To give ourselves a chance to win a basketball game, we're going to have to play hard, and this team's doing that. And so we're doing some good things offensively, and we're doing some good things defensively right now that we're nowhere near where we need to be. We're probably more further ahead defensively right now than offensively, but that's okay with me. That's our program. We like to start on that end of the floor, and Coach Tanner does a great job for us, and our guys are doing a good job. So we'll find out Tuesday. Obviously, we have a tough test. Arlington Baptist will come in here ready to go and play, and they had a lot of success last year, and so we got to be ready to go, and you never know what you're going to see in the first game. And then obviously after that, we got a tough week. We go up to Drexel and play a really, really well-coached team, a team that has a bunch of guys back, a team that's really excited about their team and think they're going to be really good this year. And so anytime you travel and you go on the road early in the season, it's always tough. And so we're going to have our hands full with Drexel. So big week for our basketball program. We're excited to get going again. And also want to show a shout-out to our football football team, man. Unbelievable win against Nichols, and just those guys fought some adversity earlier, and I'm so proud of them for fighting back. And although we'll be in Philly next week, I hope ACU comes out and supports our football team. They deserve it, and hopefully that place is packed against Sam Houston State, because those kids have worked really hard, and those guys deserve that as we go down the stretch here playing for big games. And big shout out to Casey Wilson too and the soccer team, and good luck to those guys.
It's a big week at ACU. Next week, championship banner night, ACU men's basketball. It's part of a doubleheader with the women starting at 5:30. For Joe Golding, Zach Carlyle, hopefully it warms up, ACUsports.com.